Hello. This is Monday, December 12th, 2022. Temperature outside is resting right at 32 degrees in this area. Freezing, going up to 48. Still recommending the mask if you're going out and the COVID-19 positivity rate in your area is above 5%. Wear the mask if you're going out around people. The Sideshow with Theodore Parker on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and share below the video. And if you're watching the Sideshow on Google's YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also have the Sideshow coffee cups, 11-ounce ceramic for your hot beverages and your beverages. Just finished Thanksgiving, head into Christmas, about 2 weeks off. This year it's on a Sunday. So these coffee mugs are being offered for $8. You can pay me through Cash App, $TR Parker 1, and receive your coffee cup for the Sideshow logo. So, have a couple items in the news today, coming off the weekend. I think number one on everybody's hit parade is Welcome Home, Brittany Griner. There was a little disappointment that it wasn't a 2-for-1 swap, leaving one American that's been in prison there for 4 years. And the media weighed in on it, but still, Russia's made comments that they are open to more swaps of American prisoners for Russian prisoners. In the news, I spotted over the weekend something I had mentioned before, Ethiopia. So let me see. So this little orange spot right here, where my finger is touching, that's Ethiopia in Africa. Right beneath that is Kenya, and on the other side of it is Somalia. So we're going to talk about Ethiopia a little bit because I had mentioned that there had been civil war going on in Ethiopia a couple times in the news due to the civil conflict. A UN food truck had been bombed and some other things have been happening. But now, according to the latest news, as reported by a newspaper for the New York Times, station lives in Nairobi, which is just below Ethiopia, Kenya. There's a ceasefire in effect. So I'm not going to give you all the details from the New York Times article, but I'll try to give you the highlights or what I consider to be the important points. And if you want to access the article yourself, and you can get all the details with all the numbers. A ceasefire in Ethiopia could bring an end to years of violence. For 2 years, Ethiopia has been at war with itself. Fighting there has killed hundreds of thousands of people and displaced millions more in Africa's second most populous country. A scale of conflict that some have compared to that in the Ukraine. But a surprise ceasefire aims to pause the violence and on one side said it had pulled back nearly 2/3 of its troops from the front lines in recent weeks. So this reporter, Lauren Jackson, is getting an interview with Abdi Latif Dahir, the East African correspondent for the Times, has reported on the war about what the peace deal means for Ethiopia. So his comments are as follows. The story starts in northern Ethiopia in a region called Tigray. It's home to an ancient kingdom filled with jagged mountains and sesame fields. A new point. The agrarian ethnic group is a small fraction of the country's population of almost 120 million people. But for the past few decades, Tigrayans controlled Ethiopian politics. Their party, the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front, dominated the ruling coalition's Ethiopia's parliament. Their rule was defined by both immense economic progress, but also a lot of repression. The authorities jailed journalists and cracked down on the opposition. They also made enemies with the Inchera, a neighbor that they fought over a disputed border town. In 2018, after a nationwide protest demanding political reform, the prime minister of the ruling coalition that was dominated by the TPLF resigned. After he resigned, Abiy Ahmed, a member of Ethiopia's parliament, rose to power and quickly won a Nobel Peace Prize. He was one of the youngest of Africa's leaders at just 41, and everybody thought he could change the country. He did. In November 2020, Abiy sent troops into Tigray after he accused TPLF forces of attacking a federal military base there. But what started as a quick excursion turned into one of the bloodiest conflicts in the world. The U.S. government estimates as many as 500,000 people have been killed. Altercations have surfaced of children being recruited as soldiers. The warring parties have used starvation and rape as weapons of war. And millions who survived were displaced. After months of stonewalling, they were now ready to accept entreaties to come to the table. After a few days, the parties finally announced an agreement. The ceasefire called for Tigrayan forces to disarm within a month and for Ethiopian forces to take over airports and government facilities with Tigray. There was a clear winner. The TPLF said it withdrew 65% of its forces from the front lines. Party officials said they would not fully demobilize until Eritrea withdraws, as the Tigrayans are worried about ongoing attacks from their northern neighbor. So the question of Eritrea is hanging over this crisis. Ethiopia is home to the headquarters of the African Union. It is the only country on the African continent that was never colonized. So that's the report, Ethiopia. And also there have been some rumors which may have sparked a lot of this, that somewhere in Ethiopia is where the Ark of the Covenant, yes, the biblical Ark of the Covenant is hidden. That was another reason why I wanted to bring this one forward. And last but by no means least, Ice Cube, E40, and Too Short react to Snoop Dogg's children's affirmation song. I saw this too, like a little cartoon deal, and the words are kind of inspiring. And they say, "We love it." That's it. Hashtag.